Hi, welcome to School Lunch video training. In this session, you will learn how the lunch window works and the features that are new this year. We're going to assume that you have all your accounts and preferences set up properly, so let's go ahead and open the lunch window. The lunch window is exactly the same for breakfast, lunch, and snacks. It just has a little bit of a different picture at the top. It helps identify where we are so we don't enter data for the wrong process. Whenever the lunch window opens, the cursor is automatically in the student ID field, and this is how we process students through the line. It's also how we enter a la carte items to a meal transaction. So let's go ahead and begin by entering our first number. We're going to begin with number 1. We enter it, hit return, brings up the first account. Now this right here is the first transaction. Nothing is saved into memory at this time. We could clear it and start again. It shows us that we have a negative balance. That's because we have to show balances checked in our preference section. Gives us our student name, increments the default by 1. Right now our default set to meal, and it also tells us that we use the account more than once because it knows that since we tried to use it just a second ago. Now we can either enter the next number or add an a la carte item to this one. Let's go ahead and add an a la carte item. A la carte items are added by clicking on these buttons. These are the first 8 a la carte items in the list. You might want to put the most popular ones at the front. You can have up to 26 a la carte items, one for each letter of the alphabet. We're going to go ahead and just key in the next letter of the alphabet. And yes, it did bring up the ham sandwich and gave us a total. If we enter another item, we have 2 items now entered in a la carte. And let's go ahead and process the next student through the line. It flushes the previous transaction, saves it to the hard drive, separates it into 2 different transactions, a meal item and an a la carte item. If one of these is in error, we can always hold down the shift key and double click on the saved transaction, and a warning will come up asking us if we really want to delete this entry. We're going to go ahead and press yes. An a la carte item is identified by the dollar amount in the type column. If you want to see what's in that a la carte transaction, simply double click on the list, the item in the list, and a message will come up telling you what comprises that a la carte transaction. Also, I want to point out that any messages that come up when a card is scanned would appear in this field right here. Let's go ahead and just process a few more through the line. Kind of gives you an idea of how fast this can go. Now let's say you want your classes to come through like in an elementary school setting. You could identify a class, pull up just that class, and enter them by clicking from the list. You could see that can go quite fastly. Now if a student comes through and forgets to bring their card, or you need to try to find them in the list, simply click in the search field above the student list and start typing the last name. And it quickly pares down the list to find the group of last name you might be looking for. To get rid of that list and show them all again, just simply hit delete, and it will show the list that's identified in the pop-up box here. If we want to go back and show the entire list, simply do that. But when you're searching, it will search for the entire database just to increase the possibility that a name will be found, even if that person's not in the teacher that you were looking for at that time. Now, when we close the window, you can see that student 61 transaction there, but it's not yet saved to the hard drive. So I'm going to close it and just show you. When we pull it back up, 61 was saved to our list. So anything that we had in the temporary spot will be saved when you go to close automatically. Also, when you close the window, a backup is written to the hard drive of all these transactions that were entered in case something goes wrong later on with power. Over the years, we've had some strange things happen, and we've learned that it's good to have redundant backups, and so we've worked those into the program. Now, in the preferences, you're able to set a setting to either show the balance at the lunchroom, all balances, just balances less than 0, or balances below a flag. If you have it set to where no balances are showing and a child asks, "Can you tell me how much money I have left?" you can always hit the show balance button, and that number will appear up in the top left. Also, in the preferences, you can set a code, and if you can leave this blank, but if you do set it, it's something that might help you identify what the pay status of the person going through the line at that time would be. Something that the kids wouldn't be able to readily look at and understand, but a trained operator would know. So in this example, we use a 9 or a 6-digit number, and on either side it may be the 7 here or the 1 that would help us identify if it's a free or reduced or a full pay student. Okay, it looks like it's the 2 over here, and but here again, if you don't want that to be identified at all, just simply leave those fields blank in the preference section. And then if we enter something incorrectly and want to clear out that transaction, simply click and continue on with your lunch activity. Now, these numbers again can either be entered by 10 keypad, clicking on the student list on the extreme right, or using a barcode scanner to scan a card. And the barcode scanner enters it the same way as if you were typing it in from the keyboard. The computer program really doesn't know the difference, and that's all in the way the barcode scanner is set up. So that pretty much about wraps up processing students through the lunch line. For more details, you can always refer to your manual. Thank you.